Fitness history in the making. Tour and ticket packages are available now. Book your spot now to sit, cheer, stay and play together at the games. For more information, visit sportslinktravel.com.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the 2021 Australian Weightlifting Championships, coming to you again from our control centre here in Toowoomba. Whilst we can't be together for this competition because of the uncertainty of travel with the pandemic, we're very happy to be able to ensure that everyone across the nation is able to compete face to face through the use of technology. I'm your host Greg Hobel and we're about to start session 7. The men's 89 kilogram bodyweight category. So let's go through the lifters. We have Joel Gregson from Queensland, Liam Saxby from Queensland, Michael Lane from New South Wales, Oliver Saxton from Western Australia, Nathan George from Queensland, Chris Parfitt from Western Australia, Brandon Zinenko from Tasmania, Connor McKelleney from WA, and Blake Mamarella from New South Wales. Now, of course, our technical officials are a vital part of the competition, so I'll introduce the technical officials for this session to you. We have, as our referees, Scott Mark from Queensland, James Mildren, also from Queensland, and Gabrielle Snowden, also from Queensland. And our jury consists of the jury president, Pedro Sanchez, and the 2 jury members, Rowan Mason and Mr. Sam Coffer. So the clock has expired and we'll call our first lifter. And the first lifter to be called is Brandon Zinenko from Tasmania, and the bar's loaded to 105 kilos. So I see that Brandon's previous personal best in the snatch is 110. And he's from the Portside Club in Tasmania. And looks like we've got a couple. Is that lift good? Okay, so that was a successful first attempt for Brandon. We now move to Queensland, and the lifter will be Nathan George with 107 kilos. Nathan's moved up, but the bar will remain at 108 kilos, and Nathan will be the lifter. Zinenko will be the lifter to follow. On his first attempt. Certainly looks strong enough for that one. Just a little technical error that he's got to fix up. So we go back to Tasmania now, and Brandon Zinenko for his second attempt at 108 kilos.
I'm sorry, Ian, but I've just looked through the video. I did not see the first lift for Brendan, but let's let him do this.
And that's a good lift at 108 for Brandon, closing in on his personal best. Okay, we go back to Queensland now, and the lifter is Nathan George, and this will be for Nathan's second attempt. Nathan has a PB snatch of 115 kilos. He's from the Cougars Club in Brisbane, coached by Angela Whitehall. Lifter to follow is Brandon Zinenko. From Nathan, so he's on the board with a 108 kilo snatch on his second attempt. So, as it currently stands, the lifter to follow now will be Brandon Zinenko at 109 kilos. But there's been a change. Brendan moving up. So the call goes back to Nathan George, also at 109 kilos. And there's been a change come through from Nathan as well. So we're back to Tasmania, and the bar is on 111 kilos for the third attempt of Brandon Zinenko. Lifter to follow will be Connor McElhaney. So here's Brandon going for 3 out of 3. And that's a nice lift from Brandon, and a new personal best snatch, beating his previous of 110. Okay, so we go across to Western Australia now. Connor McElhaney with 115 kilos on the bar. This will be Connor's first attempt. And that's a very easy first attempt for Connor at 115 kilos. So we move to New South Wales now for the first attempt at the same weight, 115 kilos, of Blake Mamarella. Blake will be followed by Nathan George. And a very nice first attempt there for Blake at 115 kilos. So the bar's loaded now to 116 kilos, and as it currently stands, Blake will be the next lifter. But I'm pretty sure after such an easy first attempt, he'll be taking a little bit more than that. Okay, so we've had a change come through and Blake is moving up. So that means we go back to Queensland for the third attempt of Nathan George with 116 kilos on the bar. Connor McElhaney is the lifter to follow. This will be a new personal best for Nathan. Nathan there, not quite there today, so finishes with a best snatch of 108 kilos. Okay, so we move back to Western Australia and we need 119 kilos on the bar for the second attempt of Connor McElhaney. Joel Gregson will be the lifter to follow. Unfortunately, no lift there for Connor. So, as it currently stands, we'll stay in Western Australia for Connor's third attempt. Which at the moment is 119 kilos. And if he's successful with this weight, it'll be a new personal best for him. And of course, Connor has the 2 minutes to prepare himself for this third attempt. So this will be a new personal best snatch for Connor if he's successful. And that's a much better attempt and a new personal best for Connor McElhaney of Western Australia with 119 kilograms. So now we load the bar to 120 kilos and we go back to Queensland, and this will be the first attempt of Joel Gregson. Joel's from the Cougars Weightlifting Club once again, also coached by Angela Whitehall. That's a comfortable first attempt for Joel with 120. Now the bar remains at 120 kilos and we go to New South Wales for the second attempt of Blake Mamarella. Blake coached by Jake Douglas. lift there for Jake. Barbara's just a little bit in front. So we'll have to see if he's going to come back and take that attempt again. At the moment, he will be the next lifter at that same weight, 120 kilos. Blake has a best snatch of 125 kilos in competition. And no doubt his coaches are giving him some technical advice. Make sure he's successful on this next one. The lifter to follow Blake is Chris Parfitt from Western Australia. So here's Blake for his third attempt at 120 kilos. And he got everything right on that one for a really good attempt. So he finishes with a best snatch of 120. So we go across to Western Australia now, and the weight on the bar will be 123 kilos, and this will be for the first attempt of Chris Parfitt, who's from the Rev Barbell Club, coached by Anthony Usmar. Unfortunately, that's a miss there on his first attempt for Chris. So we'll wait and see what he wants to do. At this stage, he's going to be the next lifter at that weight, 123 kilos. Chris has a best competition lift of 125. And just in saying that, he's already moved up for his second attempt. So that means that we'll stay in Western Australia, but it'll be a different lifter, and it'll be Oliver Saxton for his first attempt at 125 kilos. And Joel Gregson from Queensland will be the lifter to follow. Oliver, of course, is one of Australia's top male junior lifters, competing in the senior championships. Coached by his parents, Andrew and Jay Saxton. Here he is for his first attempt at 125 kilos. That's a really nice opening attempt for Oliver. So the weight stays the same, but we move up to Queensland for the second attempt of Joel Gregson from the Cougars Club. Joel with 125. So the weight remains the same, but we go back to Western Australia now for the second attempt of Chris Parfitt. This will equal Chris's previous personal best in the snatch. And that's a much better lift from Chris, really strong 125 there. So at this stage, we'll remain in Western Australia with Chris Parfitt for his third attempt at 126. But I have a feeling he might be moving up. Okay, I was right. Chris moving up to 131. So we actually now move to Queensland for the first attempt of Liam Saxby with 130 kilos on the bar. Lifter to follow will be Joel Gregson. Another change has come through. Liam moving up. So the bar stays in Queensland, but we go to Joel Gregson for his third attempt at 130 kilos. Chris Parfitt will be the lifter to follow. There for Joel, 3 out of 3 today. Finishing with 130. Okay, back to Western Australia. Same weight, also for a third attempt. This will be Chris Parfitt. And this will be a big 5k PB for Chris if he's successful. That's a really strong lift there and a great PB for Chris at 130 kilos. Okay, let's stay in Western Australia and we need 131 kilos on the bar, and this will be for the second attempt of Oliver Saxton. And as you can see, it looks like it's going to be a pretty tight competition in the snatches. A lot of lifters around the 130 mark.
Problem with the video.
Looks like we're back online.
Yep.
And we're still in Western Australia for the second attempt of Oliver Saxton. This will be a new PB for Oliver. That's a great personal best of 131 kilos. Good lifting. Okay, we go back to Queensland now, and the weight on the bar will be 132 kilos, and it'll be for the first attempt of Liam Saxby. And following Liam will be Michael Lane of New South Wales. opener for Liam at 132 kilos. So bar stays on the same weight, 132, but we go to New South Wales now for the first attempt of Michael Lane. And that was a good first attempt for Michael at 132. All right, so we go back to Queen's. Liam Saxby's moved up. So the call remains on Michael Lane at 133 kilos. Once again, I'm pretty sure Michael will be moving a little bit higher than that after his first attempt at 132. Coached by Troy Smith and has a current personal best snatch in competition of 135 kilos. And Michael has made a change and he has moved to 135, which means he's still the lifter. So this will be for his second attempt. 135 kilos on the bar. Only 3 lifters left to complete their snatches. All hoping to get an advantage, of course, before they move on to the clean and jerk. So Michael's decided to join the other 2 lifters remaining in the competition by moving to 136 kilos. So that changes the order of lifting and we go back to Queensland for the second attempt of Liam Saxby. Michael Lane will be the lifter to follow.
Liam.
There at the moment. So he does have another attempt left. And we stay at that weight, but we go back to New South Wales for the second attempt of Michael Lane. looks pretty happy with that, and he gets 3 white lights. Good second attempt at 136 kilos. So we stay at that weight, but we move across to Western Australia, and this will be the 3rd attempt for Oliver Saxton. He's already done a PB on his 2nd attempt, so this will be another big PB for him if he's successful. There for Oliver. Almost had it. Would have been a big PB. Okay, so weight stays at that at 136, and we go back to Queensland for the 3rd attempt of Liam Saxby. Weight's just not there for Liam today. He's got a personal best of 137, so very close to it, but not quite. So he finishes with a best snatch of 132. So we've only got one lift left, and that's in New South Wales, and it's Michael Lane for his 3rd attempt at 139 kilos. And a great lift there for Michael with 139, which is a 4 kilogram PB. So a good way to finish the snatches. So that's the end of the snatch section of the lifting, and we've got Michael Lane in front at the moment on 139, followed by Liam Saxby on 132 and Oliver Saxton on 131 kilos. So we'll take a 10-minute break and we'll be back with the clean and jerks.
Pedro?
Yes, sir.
What happened to Brendan Zinenko first attempt?
SportsLink Travel presents the CGA Family and Friends Tour. Be there in Birmingham to witness history in the making. Tour and ticket packages are available now. Book your spot now to sit, cheer, stay and play together at the games. For more information, visit sportslinktravel.com.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the 89 kilogram men's category at the Australian Weightlifting Championships. We've had the 10-minute warm-up period for clean and jerks, and so now we start the clean and jerks with 140 kilos on the bar, and we go to Queensland for the first attempt of Nathan George.
Spotlighted Nathan.
Nathan with a best clean and jerk of 146 kilos in competition. Lifter to follow is Brandon Zinenko. That's a no lift, unfortunately, for Nathan. Looks like he had that weight, just lost it right at the end. So we stay with 140 kilos, but we go to Tasmania for the first attempt of Brandon Zinenko. Brandon from the Portside Club. His coach is Roman Kiselev, and his previous PB is 146 kilos. And unfortunately, that's also a no lift. The referee is seeing a technical infringement there. So we go back to Queensland and we stay at 140 kilos, and the lifter will be Nathan George for his second attempt. Brandon Zinenko will be the lifter to follow. that's a great fighting attempt from Nathan to be successful with 140 kilos. Okay, let's go back to Tasmania. And the bar remains at 140 kilos for the second attempt of Brandon Zinenko. And this time it's a good lift for Brandon as well. So we go back to Queensland for the third attempt of Nathan George at 141 kilos. So there's been a change. Nathan is moving up. So that brings us back to Tasmania and Brandon Zinenko for his third attempt at 141 kilos. Brandon moving up as well. So that means we go across now to Western Australia for the first attempt of Connor McElhaney at 145 kilos. Lifter to follow Connor will be Blake Mamarella. Connor's best clean and jerk currently stands at 150. And that was a good opening attempt for Connor at 145. The bar remains at that weight for Blake Mamarella in New South Wales. And that's a nice opening attempt for Blake at 145. So we go back to Tasmania now for the third attempt of Brandon Zinenko with 145 kilos as well. And that's a good fight there from Brandon, and he gets 3 white lights with 145 kilos. Finishes with that weight. Back to Queensland now for the third attempt of Nathan George at 147 kilos. And this will be a new PB for Nathan if he's successful. Lifter to follow Nathan will be Blake Mamarella. Clean from Nathan, but just unable to stand up out of that one. So finishes with a best clean and jerk of 140 kilos. So we move to New South Wales now, and the bar needs to be loaded to 150 kilos for the second attempt of Blake Mamarella. This will be a new personal best for Blake. Bad luck there, easy clean. Just the jerk was a little bit too heavy on that one. But I'm sure he's going to come back and have another attempt at that one. Currently his best clean and jerk is 149 kilos. And of course he's got 2 minutes to get ready for his next attempt. And the lifter to follow him, yes, so Blake's moving up. So we now go to Western Australia, and the lifter will be Connor McElhaney with his second attempt of 151 kilos. Connor, coached by Andre Castro, and if he's successful with this lift, will have a new personal best. His current personal best being 150 kilos. Blake Mamarella is the lifter to follow. And that's a nice lift for Connor. Majority decision there, 2 white lights, but he gets himself a new personal best clean and jerk at 151 kilos. So the bar remains at that weight, and we go back to New South Wales now for the third attempt of Blake Mamarella. So Blake has decided to move up. So that will change the order of lifting. And no, Ollie Saxton's move up as well. So we go back to Blake at 152 kilos. And the lifter to follow is Connor McElhaney with 153. And that's a much better clean and jerk there from Blake. He gets himself a new personal best as well, finishing with 152. So we now need to load the bar to 153 kilos, and we go back to Western Australia for the third attempt. Sorry, there's been a change, I missed that one. So we're still in Western Australia, we're with the same lifter, Connor McElhaney, but the bar is 154 kilos. And this will be an increase to the PB that he set on his second attempt. Current PB 150, previous PB, sorry, 150, and this will give him a 4K PB. Lifter to follow is Joel Gregson. A little bit too heavy to go for Connor, but he finishes with a 151 kilo clean and jerk. Okay, so there's been some changes being made, and it's not Joel Gregson, it's Liam Saxby now. So we're back to Queensland for Liam's first attempt at 155 kilos. So Liam moving up. So that means we go to Western Australia and Oliver Saxton for his first attempt at 155 kilos. Chris Parfitt from Western Australia, you'll be the lifter to follow. And Oliver's current competition PB clean and jerk is 155 kilos, so I'm sure he's feeling good today. And a very comfortable lift there with his equal competition PB, so he's looking good for more. So now we stay in Western Australia for the first attempt of Chris Parfitt, also at 155 kilos. Chris has a best clean and jerk of 160, coached by Anthony Usmar at the Rev Barbell. And that's an easy first attempt for Chris, looking good for a lot more. We now need to, load the bar to 156 kilos for Chris's second attempt. So Chris taking more. So that means we go back to Queensland and the first attempt of Liam Saxby with 158 kilos. Liam has a best clean and jerk of 164 kilos. Trains at the Milton Weightlifting Club. Unfortunately, that's a no lift for Liam. The referee is seeing a technical infringement there. So he's probably going to, we might take that weight again, we'll have to wait and see, but he will be the next lifter, and he's got 2 minutes on the clock. The lifter to follow Liam will be Michael Lane from New South Wales. Okay, so Liam has decided to take more for his second attempt. So that means we go to New South Wales for Michael Lane's first attempt at 160 kilos. Michael's best clean and jerk currently being 171. Lifter to follow Michael will be Oliver Saxton. That's a good lift from Michael, consolidating his position in the lead at the moment after his snatches. So the bar remains at 160 kilos, and we go across to Western Australia for the second attempt of Oliver Saxton. Chris Parfitt, you'll be the next lifter. So this will be a 5 kilogram PB clean and jerk for Oliver if he's successful. Unfortunately, not quite there in the jerk. Cleaned it very easily. So we stay in Western Australia and we stay on that weight, but a different lifter, Chris Parfitt, for his second attempt. Liam Saxby will be the lifter to follow. A lot of lifts around this 160 kilo mark. So this will be equal to Chris's current competition PB. And another very nice lift there for Chris with 160, looking good for more. So now we go back to Queensland. The weight is the same. The lifter is Liam Saxby for his second attempt. Oliver Saxton will be the lifter to follow. that's a better attempt from Liam. 3 white lights, 160 kilos. So we stay at 160 kilos. We go back to Western Australia for Oliver Saxton's 3rd attempt, but no, we don't. Oliver's moved up. So we stay in Queensland for the 1st attempt of Joel Gregson with 161 kilos. Oliver Saxton will be the lifter to follow. First attempt for Joel with 161 kilos. So we stay at that weight and we go back to Western Australia for the 3rd attempt of Oliver Saxton. Oliver's moving up, so we go back to Queensland and it'll be for the 3rd attempt of Liam Saxby. Liam's also moving up. So we'll stay in Queensland for the 2nd attempt of Joel Gregson. At 162 kilos. Right, so Joel's also decided to move up. Lots of changes taking place at the moment. So we are back to Western Australia and Oliver Saxton's 3rd attempt at 162. Chris Parfitt will be the lifter to follow. Again there for Oliver. Once again, easy clean, just had a bit of trouble with the jerk, so he finishes with the best clean and jerk of 155 kilos today. So we stay in Western Australia, but we need 163 kilos on the bar. No, we don't. Chris Parfitt's moved up. So we need to go back to New South Wales and the 2nd attempt of Michael Lane with 164 kilos. That's another strong lift from Michael. Gets 1 red light, but he's successful with 164 kilos. We stay at that weight, but we go to Queensland for the 2nd attempt of Joel Gregson, 164 kilos. Now, this is getting up closer towards Joel's PB, 172. Joel by majority decision at 164 kilos. Okay, we need to have 165 kilos on the bar now, and we go back to Western Australia and Chris Parfitt for his third attempt. This will be a nice 5 kilogram PB for Chris if he's successful. Had a good day snatching as well. That's a great lift for another personal best today, so he's had a great day. 5 out of 6 lifts, nice PBs. So we have to stay at that weight, and we go back to Queensland for Joel Gregson's third attempt at 165 kilos. Joel moving up. So that means we stay in Queensland, but there's a new lifter, it's Liam Saxby, and we need 167 kilos on the bar. $164. Okay. So we're staying in Queensland, but there's been a change. It's actually 164 kilos that we need on the bar. And it's for the same lifter, Liam Saxby. No? Is that? No, that can't be right. No, that can't, it's got to be 167. Sorry, 167 kilos on the bar for Liam Saxby. A little bit of a mix-up here.
Can we have someone in Queensland confirm if it's 164 or 167?
So we have 167 kilos on the bar for Liam Saxby's third attempt.
Are we on, guys?
Yeah. Miles, can you confirm, is it 164 or 167?
67.
167. Okay, thank you. You're on.
Unfortunately, that's today, so he finishes with the best clean and jerk of 160. So we go to New South Wales now for the third attempt of Michael Lane, and the bar's loaded to 168 kilograms. Unfortunately, that wasn't quite there for Michael today. Finishes with a best clean and jerk of 164. So there's only one lift left in the competition, and we go back to Queensland for the third attempt of Joel Gregson at 171 kilos. but he finishes with a best clean and jerk of 164 kilos. So that brings the 89 men's category to a conclusion in a really close battle in the end, coming down to the last lift. The placings were in first place with a 303 kilo total, Michael Lane from New South Wales. In second place with a 295 kilo total, Chris Parfitt from Western Australia. And in third place with a 294 kilogram total, Joel Gregson from New South Wales. Congratulations to all the lifters, all the PB attempts, and hope you enjoyed the competition. And the next competition session starts at 4 p.m. So see you then. Bye.
SportsLink Travel presents the CGA Family and Friends Tour. Be there in Birmingham to witness history in the making. Tour and ticket packages are available now. Book your spot now to sit, cheer, stay and play together at the games. For more information, visit sportslinktravel.com.